Good Morning Gwinnett, a division of Noise Media Network, hosted by Audrey Bell Kearney, sharing stories about people and places around beautiful Gwinnett County and beyond. Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Southern living at its best.
Good morning, all my Gwinnetians out there in Gwinnett land and all of you around the world listening to the sound of my voice. It is a beautiful fall day here in Gwinnett County. I'm talking about like really fall. Like it's 58 degrees right now. Like I need on a sweater kind of fall. It's only going up to a high of 73. It is fall, but you know what's weird is because sometimes in Georgia it takes a long time for summer to go away. So for it to be 58, we woke up this morning, it was like 54 degrees. And still today, like it's 10 o'clock right now, and it's only 58. So I love that weather, though. That's my type of weather right there. I love fall weather. So I'm not going to complain at all because here's the thing. I get to wear my boots. I love boots. Like I love boots. I get to wear my boots. I get to wear jeans pretty much all because in the summertime it's hot here. So if you've never been to Georgia, summers are hot, like hot. So I get to wear my jeans. I get to wear my boots. I love boots. So I'm trying to debate right now. Do I got some green boots to match this outfit? Do I want to wear them today? But I got a cute little green shoe. So I'm kind of debating on that. But anyway, hope you're having a wonderful day. Today is Thursday, September the 23rd. It's also Spotlight Thursday. I got a guest. We're going to talk about, how she was able to overcome so many things that were holding her down, like her weight, her relationship with money, and found her purpose. Like she found her purpose. And she turned everything around in her life. She lost 55 pounds. She got her money straight. And she's going to be talking to us later on in the show about how she was able to do that. A lot of times we struggle. We struggle with all kinds of things. Money, weight, relationships, all of those kind of things. And sometimes they can really hold us back. Hold us back from our greatness, from doing the things that we know we should be able to do. And so my guest is going to come on. She's going to talk to us about how she was able to turn that around. She had a bad relationship with money. She had a bad relationship with food. It wreaked havoc on her life, but she was able to find an answer to all of those things and turn her life around. Now she's successful doing amazing things, and she's going to be my guest at the second part of the show. Right now, let's get on with the rest of the show. Today is National Great American Pot Pie Day. I remember I would not eat a pot pie. Like you couldn't get me to eat a pot pie, and I still kind of eat it like halfway. Like I eat all the crust out the pot pie. Like, yeah, I don't like the little vegetables in there for some reason. I don't really like vegetables anyway. I like fruit and I like lettuce. I like something that a lot of people don't like. I like broccoli rabe. I tasted it for the first time and I liked it. I did. It's also National Snack Stick Day, National Till Talk Day, National Energize Day, National Restless Leg Awareness Day. National Celebrate Bisexuality Day. Listen, do what you want to do your thing. National Checkers, Dogs, and Politics Day. What the heck is Checker Dogs and Politics Day? What is that? I don't know what that is, but it's a national day for it. An International Sign Language Day. I don't know no sign language. I love you. I don't know. It's National Sign Language Day. All right, let's get on with our horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen for today. Today is September the 23rd, y'all. Time is just flying. This month is almost over. Can you believe it? Can you believe that this month is almost over? Like, it really is. And I still got a bunch of birthdays to announce. Let me see. Right now, I'm gonna send a happy birthday shout out to Yante all the way in New Jersey. Her birthday is the 25th. Somebody else's birthday is coming up, too. I can't remember who it was. It'll come to me, though. But I got 2 birthdays to announce next week. One of them is my brother, but I'll announce it on his birthday. So these horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen for today, Thursday, September the 23rd. We're going to kick it off like we always do, and that is with Aries. Changes in your domestic scene are apparent. It will do you some good. Don't be too hard on yourself. Listen, Aries, don't beat yourself up. Learn from the mistakes and then fix it. Don't beat yourself up. I know we tend to beat ourselves up over all type of things. But you're going to learn from that mistake, and then you're going to fix the issue. So next time you don't have that one, don't beat yourself up. Give yourself some grace. That's a good word. Show yourself some grace. All right? All right. Taurus, someone you work with could have a personal interest in you. Tell them to get out of the mess they're in, and then you'll consider getting together with them. Yes, yes. Art investment will pay big dividends in the long run. Listen, somebody got an interest in you. Yeah, tell them to get out of that situation they're in. They got a situation going on. They trying to drag you into it. Taurus, you did the right thing. You tell them, I don't want to be a part of that. You fix that mess. Get out of that mess first, then holler at you. I'm just trying to help you out. Holler at me after you do that, right? That's when I want to talk to you, when you don't have that going on. I know. You don't want to be a part of that nonsense. Back and forth. Gemini, try not to bend, but by no means should you give in. Try to bend, but no means should you give in completely. You are best to concentrate on work. Travel will initiate new friendships or love connections. All right, get on out there and do some traveling. You want to do a little traveling? Do a little traveling. See some sights, and you could find some new love. Could be a new connection, or it could just be a good friendship. Good friendships are hard to come by, and when you get them, cherish them. I'm just trying to help you out. Cancer, don't be too open to put your faith in unreliable co-workers. Avoid too much discourse with colleagues today. Don't make promises you can't keep. Got a lot going on at work. Don't put your faith in the co-workers, and avoid discourse with your colleagues. You got to work with them. Try to stay away from them. Don't put too much hope in them. Do your own thing. The only person you can really truly rely on, really for real, is yourself, Cancer. Today is not a day to rely on anybody else but you. Leo, you may want to sign up for lectures or courses that will bring you mental stimulation. Try to address the real issues in order to turn things around. There's not much you can do to alleviate the problem, but consider putting some extra work into your house. I don't know what kind of problem you got. What is it? It's not much you can do. Do what you can do. If you can't do much else, that's it. And sign up for some lectures that's going to stimulate you mentally. I love that. When I'm stimulated mentally, I'm reading Outliers right now by Malcolm. Malcolm Gladwell. I just had a brain fart. I'm reading Outliers right now by Malcolm Gladwell. That is a really good book. And I have his other book, The Tipping Point, that I haven't read in a very long time. But I'm almost thinking about going back and rereading that book. This is a good book. And, of course, I'm a part of the morning meetup, which is, I call it a giant mastermind, every Monday through Friday, 8 we start at 7:45 because we talk about the book first and then we talk about business. But every morning, Monday through Friday, 7:45 to about 9:30ish sometimes, we're on there doing it's a giant mastermind. It's like 500 entrepreneurs, and we're on there talking. So if you're interested in that, there's a link always in the description. I just started putting the link in there because I talk about it so much, and I talk about the books that I'm reading. I need to put the link for the book in there too, so people can get it. But that's a good book. So Malcolm Gladwell, he profiles all these amazing entrepreneurs and figure out how they became successful. And I've been reading that book, and sometimes you just need that mental stimulation to get you through like the day. And I've been reading at night, which is great because I'm normally so tired at night that I can't really do anything. But I decided to mute the TV, like for real. Like I've muted the TV and I've started to read. And so I read at night because I was getting up like extra early to read, which is still a good thing. But I find that when I read it at night, I get a chance to sleep on it. You know what I'm saying? Like I get a chance to sleep on all that wisdom. And so that mental stimulation, it kind of brings me down. Now, if I watch a business video at night, yeah, I'm wired up. So I can't watch those. I realize I can't watch business videos at night. I can't even watch video profiles of business owners because it wires me up. This book is like calming me down, and it's making my rest a little bit more peaceful. So I get the whole stimulation mentally and subconsciously. That's what it's working on. All right, Virgo, you can certainly gain popularity. However, don't do it by paying for everyone else. You may have a hard time relating to children today. New relationships could evolve through group activities. Listen, don't be trying to buy people, Virgo. You know what I mean? If you want to be popular, do something that's going to make you popular. Don't put money on it because money does not buy you anything but trouble. It buys you fake friends, for real. Fake relationships, that's all it does. It's not real. If you want to be popular, do something that makes a difference. Do something that makes an impact. Because when you do things like that, you become popular just by happenstance. But if your goal is to be popular, don't try to buy popularity because you're only buying fakeness. I'm just trying to help you out. Just trying to help somebody out. Somebody needed that message. I'm just trying to help you out. All right, listen, I'm going to go to a song. I'll be right back after the song to bring you more other horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen. So stay tuned. Welcome back. It's your girl, Audrey Bell Kearney, giving you the daily horoscopes brought to you by noted astrologer Micah Thyssen. I'm going to pick it up with Libra. Try not to be too emotional with those around you. You can make some money if you get involved in conservative financial prospects that is presented to you. Insincere gestures of friendliness are likely to occur. Listen, if you're going to get involved in these financial deals, make sure you understand what you're getting involved with. If you do not understand, I say this all the time, consult a professional. Just because you don't want to get in something that's going to cause you a lot of money, a lot of stress, a lot of heartache. You just don't want to do that. So I know it's all sexy because you want to do some things. I'm in all these groups, right? And they talk about all kinds of investments and real estate and rights and wholesaling, tax liens and all kinds of things, right? And I want to just learn. I want to get in all of them, but I have no idea about any of them. Cryptocurrency, I don't know. So what I do is I take my time, I study, and then I go talk to somebody. If I really don't understand, I have to go talk to somebody. And then if they explain it to me, and I'm still on the fence, I'm like, yeah, I'm not doing that. So you want to talk to somebody, Libra, before you make that leap, okay? Scorpio, real estate investments will pay off. You can make extra cash through creative hobbies. You need more time to think this whole situation through. Yeah, I know how I feel about creative hobbies. I want one. And I want to make some extra money. However, I don't know. I don't know what I can do creatively, Scorpio. So maybe you have a more creative abilities than me. like you got a creative hobby. I don't have one. I be trying. I done tried everything. I got like I got a big old thing of decoupage like this big, y'all. And then I got a bunch of little tiny ones. And then I got a whole thing of plates. And then I was gonna make these plates. I was gonna make plates and yeah. And when I made my plate, it was so ugly. Probably if I just took the time to like really learn how to decoupage, I'd probably do good. And decoupage look like it's gonna be pretty simple. I just suck. Listen, I'm not ashamed to say I suck. I suck at decoupaging. Sagittarius, this could be the cause of a dispute that may result in estrangement. Being unappreciated by your boss could make it hard to do your work effectively. Don't be too hard on yourself. Listen, give yourself some grace, Sagittarius. Don't be so hard on yourself. And listen, being unappreciated by your boss, yeah, may make it hard for you to work effectively. Listen, most people are unappreciated by their bosses. And they just are. I'm just being serious. Like, most people are unappreciated by their bosses. I sit and I think about what my company would look like when I could hire a bunch of people, right? And I don't know. I've tried this before, and I've hired people before. I've had companies where I've hired people, and I want to be like this really, friendly boss. And sometimes that doesn't work, though. Let me just say that. Because I've hired people. I remember hiring 2 people, and, I was trying to make it like really, a caring environment, a nurturing environment, like an open environment. They took advantage of it. They did. My husband and I, we talk about that every once in a while, because he reminds me. Remember when we hired such and such? I'm like, yeah, they sucked. So you have to. It's kind of hard sometimes to draw the line between being the boss. But here's the thing, you can show people appreciation even if you are a boss. Just thank them for the little things they do. Show them that you matter. But for the most part, when you start being too nice, your team kind of take advantage of that sometimes. They really can. I'm telling you the truth. Capricorn, sudden changes of heart may cause disruptions in your domestic scene. Your irritability will lead to family squabbles. Be careful not to reveal private information. Yeah, be careful not to put your business out there. If you don't want it known, don't put it out there. So be careful. If it's private, keep it private. The minute you tell somebody, you run the risk of somebody telling somebody and somebody telling somebody. And it's your fault because you just should have not said anything. Sudden change of heart may cause disruption in your domestic scene. Here's the thing. If you have a sudden change of heart, Capricorn, if it's not hurting anybody physically, if it's because you need to do something better for yourself, it's okay. I'm telling you, it's okay. Because sometimes you take on things and you say yes to things that you really shouldn't say yes to because you're trying to appease the other person or help somebody out. You just might want to say, you know what, I don't want to do that. I've had a change of heart. It doesn't serve me well. And because it doesn't serve me well, I probably won't serve you well. And that's normally the case. Whenever you do, let me tell you, my husband know I say this all the time. When my husband cook food with love, that food, you be licking your fingers. When he really doesn't want to do it, it's not well. It's too salty. It's too soft. It's all these things that's wrong with it. Too sweet. But we know, like, oh yeah, he must have didn't want to do this. When he wants to do it, oh my God. And most of the time he really does. But there are times when he has been irritated when he's cooking, and it shows up in the food. So I'm just telling you, Capricorn, just say no. I've had a change of heart. It's okay. Give yourself some grace. Aquarius, your sensitivity towards those you love will capture their hearts. Be careful disclosing information. You will be emotional about money matters. Are we all emotional about money matters? We are. Anyway, you're going to be emotional about money matters. Here's the thing. Take a look at the finances. If someone is trying to jerk you around, somebody jerked me around for some money, and I had to just let it go because I really didn't feel like fighting, and I had the right to fight. I just feel like God is going to take care of them. And my husband just said the same thing, like she'll get hers. I'm like, yeah, she will. But since that time, everything has been great. I mean, she's going to get hers because she's trying to jerk me around, and it's okay. Because I had to let that go because that was keeping me up at night. So I know you get a little bit emotional sometimes because I was emotional like for a week. I'm like, I was pissed. And I said, you know what, let that go because it's interfering with you bringing more money into your life. God will get her. You just focus on what you got to do. And that's what I had to say. When I did that, things started happening. I'm just trying to help you out. Last but not least, my fellow fish Pisces, you may find that someone at work hasn't been trustworthy. Good friends will give you honest answers. Don't let lovers cost you money or take advantage of you. Fish, listen. If you know for a fact that they're trying to take advantage of you, tell them to kick rocks. I'm just telling you to help. I'm just trying to help somebody out right now. Don't let your lovers take advantage of you or cost you money. Don't do that. And you may find that someone at work has not been trustworthy. They've been keeping secrets. They've been trying to stab you in your back. Watch your back. Because you got some backstabbers out there and they're coming for you. So watch your back. That's all I'm saying. Just trying to help you out. All right. So that's all the horoscopes I got. I'll be back on Monday to bring you more of the horoscopes brought to you by Noted Astrologer Micah Thyssen. We got a guest coming up in about 7 minutes. And so while I wait for the guest, I'm going to go to another song. I'll be right back after this song to hopefully bring my guest on. So stay tuned.
So absurd. For letter words. I hate it when you're like this. You never get excited. Did you get struck by lightning? Don't hide it, no. Don't hide it, no.
Welcome back. So listen, I'm waiting for my guest, but as I wait for my guest, let me give y'all a little bit of news about Gwinnett County. You know, as a business owner, we try to plan like our monthly plans, our weekly plan. Well, there's a company that's bringing a lot of jobs and a lot of innovation to Gwinnett County, especially to the area where I'm in right now. So there's a company called Rowan. They're creating something called a research center It's almost like research triangle. They're gonna be focused on environmental, agriculture, and medical research, but it's gonna bring 80 to 100,000 jobs. Now, what's crazy about that is that they're planning this out not for like 5 years. They're planning out for the next century. Like they have a business plan that encompasses a plan for the next century. Like that's 100 years, you guys. So I feel like that. Do we plan out that far? Like, can you plan? I mean, you can, but that's what they're doing. But anyway, they have not started yet. They have not started. It's going to be eight to $10 billion of ongoing labor. They're going to hire people. They're going to build on 2,000 acres in Gwinnett County, and it's going to take them at least 60 years to fulfill the vision. Like at least 60 years. Like that's a big vision. The people that started the vision probably won't even be living. 60 years. I think about a business. I think about my business. Like right now, I'm doing a transition. I'm always in transition, but this is like the best transition ever, because as you know, I'm growing the network. Like I'm launching another podcast. I'm launching 2 more, possibly 3. But one is called Built, and it stands for Black United and Leading Technology. That's Built. And that is to shine a spotlight on African Americans who are doing great things in the tech space. That's one podcast. That's going to launch on October the 4th, and that's a Monday, I think it is, and it's going to be live at 5 p.m. My second podcast I'm launching is called Popcorns and Politics. That podcast is going to be live on Sundays starting October the 3rd, live on Sundays at 1 p.m. I love this space, so I'm building a podcast network. Now, I can tell y'all, I have not thought about like the next 10 years. I have not. I'm trying to get past the next 12 months. So to look at a company that has planned out a vision for the next 60 years, that makes me rethink my plan. Makes me rethink the things that I want to do. So building out the Noise Podcast Network, I'm only thinking, I'm thinking too short. When I'm looking at Rowan, they're thinking out 60 years, almost 100 years out. So they have a huge vision. And I think my vision is too small. I think my vision is too small. Anyway, let me just bring my guest on. So listen, we've been trying to get this interview and we've had some technical problems, but it's okay because she is here with me today. I have struggled with my weight my entire life. Like anybody who knows me personally, they know that has been a struggle for me. It has been my struggle. I have gone through ups and downs, and it was so funny because this morning I woke up and I said, you know what? I have about 32 pounds. So I know people are like, well, how do you get to 32 pounds? Because I'm trying to get below this certain mark, and all I need to get below that certain mark is 32 pounds. So I said to myself, I got 32 pounds, and I need to lose that 32 pounds, and then I'll be below my mark, which I will. And so I've come a long way. I've lost 120. I still got 132. I still got, not 132. I still got 32 to go. Now, let me tell y'all one of my hesitations, and I'm going to bring my guest up. One of my hesitations is I don't know if my face is going to look really, really small. Because I've seen some people who lost a lot of weight. They've been chunky their whole life, and their face is really, really small. And people are like, oh, my God, they look like they're on crack. But anyway, my guest today is Katrina Julia. She has had a turbulent relationship with money. She's had a turbulent relationship with food, but she has found her purpose and her passion. She's lost 55 pounds, and I'm so happy to have her today. We've been trying to make this happen. So without further ado, welcome to the show, my friend. Welcome to the show.
Hi, how are you, Audrey? I'm so excited to be here. Like you said, we've been trying to make this happen on both ends, and I was just listening to the interview with you and Lisa, and I loved it. I was like, I'm so excited to chat with her finally. Finally.
Welcome to the Good Morning Gwinnett show. Good morning, Gwinnett. Listen, Katrina Julia, she is here to talk to us about how she's been able to be an entrepreneur, how she left corporate America, because I know a lot of you want to be corporate dropouts, and she's a corporate dropout, and she's going to tell us how she did that. But she's also going to talk about how she's transformed her life and found her faith, and how she's had to lean on that faith to do that. A lot of times we don't lean on faith. So without further ado, welcome. Give our audience a little brief about who you are and how you got to this point.
Absolutely, Audrey. I'm so excited to be here, and I love that you touched on so many different dynamics. So I'm going to hit on a couple of them as I share my story real quick. So as you shared towards the end about faith, like walking from fear to faith, self-hate to love, corporate to calling, I started realizing about 7 years ago that I had been trying to do so much in my own strength and looking to the external, looking to people's opinions, which I know a lot of your listeners resonate with, and what we just walked through with the global pandemic, that it brought so many things to a head. And, I started realizing about 7 years ago, and I had pivotal points of having a best friend that got sick with cancer, and then moving to Atlanta, Georgia in 2010. And I love Atlanta. I'm not there now. Disclaimer, I'm filming this right now in Honduras, you guys. So I'm going to talk about...
I was wondering where you were. I said, where is she? Okay, but it sounds great. Okay, cool. We're going to talk about that.
I made sure I had a mic, and I made sure I had my headphones, even though I'm outside right now. I was like, I got to make sure her show is good. And,
thank you.
And when I moved to Atlanta, it was such a pivotal point for me with faith and, choosing purity. Even though I moved there for a corporate job, a year and a half later, I would leave that corporate job, so way before the pandemic. Mm-hmm. And then to your point, and you talked about this with the weight, so Janelle passed, I get closer to God, I start realizing, wait a minute, am I really living out fully the life I was designed to live? Mm-hmm. And that was already after I left corporate, because even though I left corporate, I was still floundering in a lot of things, with weight, with clarity. And then when I, started, I'd always done fitness events, always. Century events, gave back to helping cancer with the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society, but I yo-yoed with my weight for years. So you talked about the face. So my face drastically changed. So yes, likely your face will change some. Yes. And to the point where people are like, okay, did you get work done? I'm like, no, this is just weight, And so that can happen. Doesn't happen to everyone, but it can happen. But in any event, it also opened up my eyes to so much more clarity to align to help people create what they love, with health, with wealth, with business, because I had that past. And I believe nothing is ever wasted. Although I helped so many people for years in over 7 industries transform, for years my life would go like this and back to the weight. So until I did it the right way, slow and steady, changing habits, utilizing tools like Herbalife Global Nutrition, changing and replacing not so healthy habits, working out, and being patient with the process, I lost that 55 pounds over a year and a half. Mm-hmm. Whereas before I would drop a ton, gain it back, drop it, some, gain it back. And I was like, I'm done with this yo-yo. And in any event, so much what I'm living out now, and of course, I'm sure you're going to ask me questions, is things I wrote down, write the vision down and make it plain 10 years ago, 7 years ago. So even for me, so many times, and nothing is perfect, because I'm still walking through a lot of transformation. Yes, I've transformed a lot in every area, but it didn't make, on one side, I never would have imagined leaving Atlanta on December 31st in the middle of a global pandemic to go travel the world, because it also made sense on a practical standpoint, because it was cheaper for me to go travel in Central and South America than to stay in Atlanta and renew my lease. And I'm still walking through financial transformation and past consequences, paying off debt. So being fully transparent, it's a journey. It's not a destination. It's a journey.
So Katrina, oh my God, you said so much. I want to start with clarity first, because I think a lot of times we know we want to do these things, but we have this going on. We got life, we got family, we got businesses, we got church, we got, community services. How does one get to that space of clarity first? Because that's where it has to start, clarity. And that's all in your mind. How do you get to that point?
I love that you talked about clarity, because it's so important. So 2 things I'm going to highlight with clarity. Number 1 is priority. Look at how you prioritize your days, your weeks, your months. When I started really diving in, I started realizing, like, wow, my priorities are upside down. I'm not putting faith first. I'm not putting my health second. I'm not putting that passion and purpose. I'm putting everything else first. And no, that didn't happen overnight. it was, a process. It's still a process because the external and people, it's, a constant, like that's why the morning time and your evening time and pockets throughout the day to like get clear on what's really driving the needle. And along those lines, what I also realized is usually every year I have a focus. And I think that's how we all work best. So even though I use a process called the 7 steps to success, like we do every single day, we do things spiritually, mentally, emotionally, relationally, playfully, physically, and financially. But usually what I've found is every year, even though you're taking the 2 to 3 actions and everything every day, every year there's a focus. So when I lost the weight, the physical was heavily my focus because it was a new thing. Right now, financial freedom, even though I'm traveling, is a focus. So, and then along those lines, how to create clarity, you've got, the second thing I want to bring up is you've got to create space. And I felt like, God led me to do, he always leads me to do divine downloads, but a space creator. When I did my first retreat in Cuba, I filmed it, and it was centered around creating space in 3 areas: stuff, space, and sanity. And I've lived this and I breathe this. So like, for example, years ago, I used to have tons of stuff in my car, but then the last 2 years in Atlanta, I didn't have a car. And then my closets would be overflowing. So you've got to start with your environment around you, then your phone, your technology, your space in your mind, your space with your family, boundaries, and then what impacts your sanity, and is it your perspective about the sanity?
Man, so you said the space. So because clearing your space, I find that when I have a clear space, like my office, it was so funny. I recently moved, and this was the only space in the house that was straight. I was like, this is where I work. I cannot work in clutter. I will fix the rest of the house later. I have to fix my office. So the first thing I did, and my husband probably was thinking like, okay, what about the rest of the house? I was like, I got to clear my office because I can't work in clutter. And it's so funny because I think about the stuff that I had when I moved. Oh my God, it was just stuff. And I think we brought some of it with us, which we shouldn't have, but it's the stuff. Now, I know that you've done some amazing things, and who has been some of the people who have helped you like take this journey? Because did you start it by yourself, or did you have somebody say, you know what, I'm gonna walk with you?
I love that you say that because so many people, in this culture, my pastor, I'm part of Transformation Church. He talks about it's a generation that believes more like in Google than in God, and I thought that was super powerful, Pastor Michael Todd. And as I was thinking about this week, I was thinking about, so many people also say self-made. I'm like, I am not self-made. I am God-made and I am community-made. And so like thinking about that, it's my parents. My parents, first of all, have helped me in so many ways beyond what I ever imagined as a child, because I was that girl that was like, go to school, get a degree, start like helping their parents, giving them trips, all these things. But this journey has humbled me in so many ways to where I did need the help. Then I've walked through and had help with communities like Herbalife Nutrition, like Bethany Hamilton, the Soul Surfer, the Unstoppable Year. I was in her program. Countless Bible studies, like from Lifeway Women, Beth Moore, Priscilla Shirer. Also, like always, I heard you talk about in the interview with Lisa, your morning mastermind where you got to get on every morning, which is super powerful because same thing. I'm always in some kind of community, like 2 or 3 every year. Most recently, the Super Focus program with Tommy Newberry, who's based in Atlanta, on a monthly basis recently. Then also on, I mentioned Unstoppable Year, Boss Babe community, which is huge on social media. But then I also, so I want to point this out. There's times where I'm in 1 to 2 to 3 communities, and there's times where I have monthly, meetings or things like that. And of course, our own community that I lead. But then there's times where I step away to be on my own. So it's having the wisdom and discernment to know. And then also I want to edify Brendan Bouchard, Shailene Johnson. I've been in their programs. They've helped a great deal on the digital side, on the time management side, Marie Forleo. But then again, right now it's in kind of a shift where I'm leaning more on myself, but it's with a lot of that wisdom and then picking pieces where I need it, how I need it, so it looks different. So I want to bring that up to where it looks different in different seasons, and giving yourself the permission to do that, to where you do have the faith in yourself too. Because what you're creating is uniquely yours and you.
You've named a lot of people that I've heard of, that I follow, that I listen to. You've invested a lot into yourself, into your business. How has that part been? Because a lot of times people don't want to invest. They want I give you a prime example. So I did a talk, I think it was Monday. I think I did a talk on Monday, and I had someone reach out to me, and I answered the questions back, but they still need help. So instead of saying, let me just join the program so she can help me, like she podcasts 4 days a week live. She has almost 600 episodes just on one podcast, and she hosts no. And it's the nuttiest thing. And I'm thinking, why would you not skip the line? Why? But some people just want stuff for free. What do you think about people like that? When they just want it for free and they don't want to make the investment. You're right. I get up every morning. I'm on the morning meetup. It's 500 entrepreneurs there. I call it a mastermind, because we're learning from each other. We're sharing information. We're getting questions asked. And I make that investment because I need that, But some people need stuff and they still won't invest in themselves. I don't get that part.
I think it's three different things, because I've been there, so I get it, and I give the grace and I have compassion. I think one is the scarcity mindset, that I don't have money, I can't make it happen. It's the lies playing in people's minds. And it's like, come on guys, what do you spend at Starbucks? Let's get real. What do you spend, on food that doesn't serve you? What do you spend, on alcohol? I haven't drank now for over 6 years, and I'm like, oh my God, the money I used to spend on things like that. But when I started making choices that aligned, it changed. So scarcity is the first thing. The second thing is, you're right, some people will just stay in the free zone. And, that's one of the reasons why, people like you and I, create a show, create vlogs, create all these different things. Thanks, Liz. So appreciate that. Super nice. Thank you for engaging live. And yeah, definitely drop in any questions or anything that you have. And, that's the second thing is, some people are going to stay in the free zone, love them. They're still listening, they're still reading, they're still getting value, and your purpose is still being served. And that the value and the money, this, Audrey, what you pour into people always comes back. It may not come from that person, but when you get this deal or this opportunity or this blessing, guess what? That's because of the seeds you planted on good soil. Yep. And then sometimes the third thing is we all have the ability to change. So I always have faith and know, okay, I don't know where this person is right now, because I can't see in the unseen realm. I don't know what's happening in their heart and their head, but I do know at some point they may become a paid user. They may come on a retreat. They may become a brand consulting. They may host me for something, or they may know someone that connects me, and let me still love them and give them grace because I've been that. And I think so many times as entrepreneurs that we become a business owner, and I see this with so many people, and I've also been here. Why won't they do this? Why won't they change? Why won't they whatever? And I'm like, come on, check yourself. You used to be the negative Nelly. You used to be this. Thank you, Georgette. That's super appreciate the comments. Thank you. I definitely try to be that. Definitely try to be salt light. I know Audrey Bell does too.
That's so true. I think, but it baffles me because I be trying to get, and a lot of times too, Katrina, I think I try to push people more than they want to be pushed. I try to give them more than they really want or need at that point. Even though they come to me, I see this potential. I'm like, man, you could do this, and this, but that could drain you. So how do you, I'm sure that happens to you too. How do you handle that? Because we're giving people, we want to see people succeed and prosper and do well and want to give it all to them. And when you do that, they go like this, they push back.
So I'm so glad you brought that up, Audrey Bell, because also when I was in corporate, Audrey, I used to be like that a lot. And I still see it. I see the vision for people. I see their potential just like you, because I can see it, tangible. Just if you do this, or just if you believe this. But what God really walked me through over the last 7 years is just like you were at certain points at certain places, I have people at certain places that I want you, like part of my purpose is to blow up people's brains. Like I love creating, a limitless life and business you love and helping people create it, all those things. But I've also realized like certain things happen for me at certain points. So like planting the seed, blowing up people's brains, but then letting them make the decision. Mm-hmm. Because what I used to do in corporate is I used to try to force. And a lot of times people would come along because, of course, let's be real. In corporate, if you're in a certain position, you can force people to come around. Mm-hmm. And a lot of us are used to that. Like, oh, you'll lose your job if you don't do this. But when you're an entrepreneur, like I made the decision that I didn't want to operate in that state, that I wanted to feel like anything I did, I wanted to feel like it was like with a friend, that things were flowing like a river, that I was giving, that they were receiving, they were taking whatever they took, but they were taking action and owning their process. Mm-hmm. Because Rachel Hollis is also someone that I've invested in the past, and she said something 2 years ago that really resonated with me, and also resonates a lot with scripture. Like, you have got to care about your passion and purpose more than anyone else. And so when I flipped that, I was like, well, they don't even care about their passion and purpose. Like, they don't own that process. So now it's like, I'll give, I blow up the brain, whether it's a show like this, on my show, on a freebie, but it's like, you have got to put your big girl pants on, your big boy pants on. You've got to make the decision to invest, in the consulting, in the show, in the course, in whatever it is, the retreat, whatever the avenue is. Depending on whatever your listener is doing. And when you start to operate from that state and also saying, like, I work with self-motivated people, it changes. Like, I was in Costa Rica a month ago, and I got to work with an entrepreneur that she owns her own sustainable farm, Cindy. Wow. She owns her own tropical rainforest and 3 tourism brands. Yeah. And she's like on it, and she owns it. I was like, oh my God, thank you for like bringing me someone like her, because I know. So if you guys are ever going to Costa Rica, go look up Tropical Escapade. She's amazing. I was going to ask you that
because that sounds amazing.
And then I'm here in Honduras helping out Hotel Sandoval and helping out, with their Tourist Centro Sandoval Park in Ocotepeque, Honduras. And the owner is like heavily involved. Like, he's like, I trust you to do your part on the media side, on this, on that, the other. But like, I'm here to do my part. But like, he's active, but then he's also not micromanaging. So it shows you, when you work with different people that are professional and own their piece, it shows you the shift that when you're trying to like push people uphill and they don't want to go. Mm-hmm. It's like, I always use the analogy. It's like, and I'm guilty of this. We have a shitty diaper and we know it stinks and we don't like it, but it's comfortable. It's comfortable. You don't want to take it off. And it's like, but you've got to be the one to choose to take it off. So I know I said a whole lot there, so I'm going to pause.
So, oh my God. So you're right about that. I mean, you're right about trying to push people uphill. And it's so funny because I got to the point where it was draining me. And I was like, I can't do this because it's sucking the life out of me. And so what I started doing exactly what you said. I started just giving. And you take what you need and throw the rest in the garbage. That was the best thing for me. And what I also did, Katrina, was start to go back and look at my passion, right? Like, I love podcasts and I love entrepreneurs. This is my thing. And I had to embrace that. Because if you had asked me, hey, what do you do? I was like, well, I own a media and marketing agency, blah, blah, blah. Never feeling like connected. Even though I knew how to do all these things, not feeling connected. And so a lot of times people will do things that they don't really feel connected to, but they do it because they know how to do it. And so I'm looking at what you're saying. You said, I was in Costa Rica, I helped this business owner, now I'm in Honduras, I'm helping this business owner on the media side. How did you get to that point? Like, what made you say, you know what, I'm going to go to Costa Rica, I'm going to find an entrepreneur, I'm going to go to Honduras, I'm going to find another entrepreneur. How did you get to that point, and how was their reception to you?
So many things. So I want to point out something you said, because I want to edify what you said too. And continue like a little bit that first is the boundaries. Mm-hmm. Like loving your neighbor as yourself. So if we're pouring so much into someone else, you can't fully love you. And I love how you got to the point where you started pruning. I'm in a season of further pruning. Like it never ends, where I'm like, wait, this doesn't serve me. Let me get more focused on being this multi-passionate entrepreneur. So how did I get there? So the process started about 10 years ago, where I started casting the vision, writing down like how I wanted my spiritual life to be, my wellness, my business, and travel and all these things. And part of that was traveling to 7 continents and traveling to 100 plus countries and blowing up my own brain. Like, even though I had traveled already to 20 plus countries, now I'm at 30, this was my 30th, is realizing more and more and more to get comfortable with the unknown, with the unseen, and planting seeds. We're always planting. And if we're planting on good soil, like the scripture says, you can reap 30, 60, 100 fold. Now, if you would have told me a year ago, Audrey, when I was sitting in my Atlanta apartment in Buckhead, working 100% online, maybe 5% interaction, that I would be taking a leap of faith at the end of the year to start traveling globally, I would have been like, you're crazy. But then when I started to pray about it and like also look at the practical alignment, and then I started looking at several things. I started looking at, so the thing is, we don't know what we don't know. So, but I'm always big on research. Like, I have a great tool. It's called 75 plus tools and resources to create a life and business you love. And I segment it in areas. And I'm always researching. I have my VAs research. I know you and Lisa talked a lot about process and et cetera. So I automate and delegate a ton. And so in my own process, because I hold myself accountable to that, I said, okay, what platforms can I use to either save money, eliminate living expenses, and or make money? Now that I'm going to be traveling globally, what else don't I know? And so, of course, Airbnb came across my radar. I was also, last year and the year before, I was a community manager for experiences in Atlanta. So I was involved in the community, so automatically thought of that. So I was like, okay, I can check on Airbnb, I can negotiate monthly rates, I can ask them about media. So it's thinking about the possibilities. Don't look at what people are doing. That's like, social media is great. Listening to entrepreneurs is great, but let your own mind go wild. Like, be free. Like, a lot of people tell me, like, you're doing so much. I'm like, I didn't think about this. I'm like, because I give myself childlike wonder. I give myself the freedom to do that with faith and to think of possibilities. The second thing was a platform called Workaway, which is literally what it sounds like, Workaway. But predominantly it's been used for things like, house sitting or gardening or whatever. And I said, but wait a minute. Likely there's business owners on there that have tourism businesses, that have B&Bs. Even if they haven't thought about it, I can lead them in that, leading people to water and see if they drink from it. And then I can find other marketing platforms that either I can research and then automate and delegate so that it's not all on my plate. And so through that, like the one in Costa Rica specifically, I found through Workaway. She had previous people help with some stuff like the farm and different things. But again, people like me, like you and I, weren't like pitching on there. And when I pitched her, I have a pitch letter that I've refined over the last several years and learned from a ton of people, and now getting comments, through that, like, wow, this is like the best I've ever seen. I'm like, thank you. Clearly the responses, clearly the results are speaking for themselves. And she replied back to me, Cindy, right away, and she was like, oh my God, this is so great. I love all your skills. I love all the way you can help me. And of course, I stay humble, and I'm like, I can still help you in the farm because I want to learn about sustainability. I can still help you in the forest because I love being outdoors. And I love to do adventure, and I did canyoning through her company. I did snorkeling through her company, and other things. So that's how that one came about. And then Honduras, Manuel, had previously worked through tourism for years. And he ended up working actually with the familiarization trips with the Honduras Tourism Board. And so when I messaged him, even though people that had messaged him through the platform didn't have that skill set, of course, when I reached out, I had no idea that was his past because that wasn't on his profile. But I took the leap of faith. And he immediately responded. He was like, oh yeah, I 100% get what you're doing. Yes, I would love to have you here. And I'm like, okay, by the way, I can also help with this. But when we met earlier this week, like my piece on travel to Honduras that's up right now, I'm staying here, I'm at the hotel, doing things with the water park. He was like, I really just want you to focus on doing what you do. Like, do your media thing, do this, do that. So I was like, wow, like this is even more freedom than what I had with Cindy, because Cindy wanted much more help, like in a lot of areas.
Can you see the smile on my face right now? I know you can, because I'm sitting here going, what? What? So let me make sure.
Audrey, my own brain is blown every day. The things that like God has me doing, and then like the way my confidence is building, the crazy faith. So imagine I'm walking in it. So I can imagine what it looks like to you, but I'm walking in it like.
So Katrina, are you telling me that you went to Workaway, you had a skill set, you presented your skill set to the business owner, and they brought you to their location, and you're there helping them, doing things that you love, and then enjoying this beautiful place? What?
And so ends up being that the stays are covered. Typically stays and or food is covered 100%. Sometimes the business owners, whether it's Workaway or other platforms, because it depends what the brand is open to, just like any business and what they see the value in, they're like, well, we want you to help with ongoing wellness. We want you to help with ongoing media. We want to keep you on contract. Oh, we want you to help us with retreats. And because I always propose long-term deals. Abundance. Thank you, Georgette. It's been a journey, girl. Like I'll drop like it, not at all overnight. Not
Lisa,
at all overnight.
I mean, I'm not Lisa. Katrina, I'm sitting here trying to wrap my head around, like, you know what? It just amazes me when you start to get clear and you start to get crap out of your life, the things that God will put in your vision. That's amazing. So how many businesses have you visited with this model that you've created? Because this is a model. I know you know this already. This is a model.
It is. It's both. It's both online and it's live. So This year specifically, it's been, let's see, Costa Rica, the second one, because I was in Costa Rica for 3 months, January, February, and March. And then the third one, then April, May, June, I was in Guatemala. April, May, so that was the fourth one. Then then I was in Mexico, May through the end of July, so that was the fifth one. Because even when I'm not doing a trade, I'm still using it as a beta to share with all my listeners and everything. And then what happens is a lot of the business owners then are like, well, we want to give you a discount, or we want to give you it for free because we want you to stay because we love what you're doing. And like I stayed in Tulum for about 3 months. And then I had Costa Rica, which was a full month, 100% covered. Then I had El Salvador in between, which was a total surprise, but that wasn't a project. It just ended up being a surprise because Manuel, the owner here at Hotel Sandoval, told me that, oh, it makes more sense for you to fly to San Salvador first, then come here because it's closer to the border there than to fly to Honduras. And I was like, oh, but keep in mind, this is part of the business model of the lifestyle brand, because the majority of the things I'm doing is still online, but then I'm nullifying my expenses and are generating income by doing this. And then it's like a never ending circle, because then it creates content for the blog, for the show, for the businesses, and it's benefiting everyone. So it's a triple win.
How did you get this? How did you get this concept? Because I'm totally like in love. How did you get this?
So I credit everything. So I always credit everything, to God, like faith first, and even our business, like, is follow, love, and all we do, impact people, and transform the mind, and it's tied to Romans 12:2, John 3:16, and like it goes back to the creating space. I create so much space every morning and night. I go off on my own and journal. I, write down things all the time, and then I'm always thinking, like, on both ends, like, how can I reduce expenses? Like, it's blowing my own brain that I'm, living with one suitcase and a backpack, and I have donated a ton of stuff and have a small storage in Atlanta. I will be back in Atlanta, and I will be creating a creative center, in about a year and a half.
Okay.
So yes, I will be back there. Would love to meet you in person one day.
Yes.
And this concept was like, when I was leaving, it was like, okay, first let me reduce expenses with Airbnb. But then it was like, well, wait a minute, how can I completely, like, I already had the concept, divinely downloaded last year. of, because a lot of people in media do this, traveling for free and or making money. But I was like, I don't have 10,000 followers on Instagram yet, but I have all these other skill sets. So I was like, okay, how can I negotiate directly with the business owner that maybe isn't open to this and target a different business owner? How can I leverage the blog, the show, these other avenues? And then when I found Workaway last year, so it's literally like the more clear you get, the tools and the resources and the people come to you, because it's like God is like, okay, you're clear, you're ready, let me give you this vehicle, however it is, just like, Herbalife is a part of that, just like the online business is a part of that, just like being on a podcast is part of that. And so and it goes back to, also I want to bring this up because it's so important, taking leaps of faith and having childlike wonder and not taking rejection personally. Mm-hmm. Because when I started with like this or anything, I used to take like rejection personally because my worth was in my work. Mm-hmm. But when your identity is no longer in if someone approves you or not, you're like, well, I think this is aligned. I think you're aligned. But if it's a yes, it's a yes. If it's a no, it's a no. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to keep moving forward. Like I have my VA that like messages decision makers on, top Fortune 500 companies every single day or every single week on LinkedIn. And whether they respond or not, I'm like, I'm still making a connection. They still may come to me later. I don't know. Or even this morning, I personally reached out to several different businesses in Belize, in Honduras, in Costa Rica. And it's like, okay, copy, paste, make a few changes that are pertinent to the business to make sure it's personal. And I literally got a response from one business in Belize in less than 10 minutes.
What? Let me tell you something. I'm sitting here listening to you talk, right? And that has never crossed my mind. This show is live streamed right now. It's live streamed on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, and Roku, and all of we're live, like on all of those platforms. Like people with a Roku device can listen to us live. That has never crossed my mind. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, man, see, this is what I was talking about before you came on. Like, there's a company that's creating a whole research triangle here in Gwinnett County, and they have a 60-year plan, right? And I'm thinking 60 years. I'm like trying to get the whole month, but I feel like I'm just not thinking big enough. Like even though I'm a big thinker, I don't feel like I'm thinking big enough because I know that this is a powerful platform to have people be able to stream. Like I can stream you live, and somebody could be sitting in their living room and watch you on Roku right now. That's nuts. And I think
I'm in Honduras with me right now.
Listen, so the other day, someone was talking to me about being in St. Lucia. I'm like, let's have a conversation. You're right. I could be in Honduras, and so I haven't even thought about that. I want to go back to something you said before, though, and this is stuck in my head.
Real quick, let me mention something. Mm-hmm. I love that they have the 60-year plan because I have like the 20, 30, 40-year plan. But of course, the closer you are, the more clear it is. Mm-hmm. But it's still getting comfortable with sometimes not knowing. Like as of right now, I don't know where I'm going October 30th. But go ahead.
So I wanted to talk to you. You said one thing about something that I've heard, and you got the people that say, no, you can't do that, you shouldn't do that. And then you got people that say, this is who I am. You said I'm multi-passionate.
Yes, I'm glad you talked about that. So years ago, I'm going to talk about my corporate journey, and I'm going to talk about my perspective now. And I think what a lot of people are making the mistake of listening to other people is years ago, I bought into the go to school, get a degree, focus, or like people say now, niche down. Which to me, the word niche down, automatically is like, and some people are born to focus. Some people are born to do one thing. But does anybody tell, like, let's get real, does anybody tell Jennifer Lopez, niche down? Does anyone tell Oprah, niche down? Does anyone tell Addison Rae, somebody that's on TikTok now and has millions of followers and just released her movie on Netflix, niche down? You can see I'm pulling from different generations and nationalities on purpose to get people to really know. Because they chose early on to be who they are and to share who they are passionate. Because you have some people that are born to focus. The accountant that's perfectly happy being an accountant, and I bring that up because I'm also an accountant, But that's not where I wanted to stay. That's not my heart and soul. That's not my passion and purpose. My passion and purpose is to help people create a life and business they love with freedom. Well, if I'm helping you create a life and business you love with freedom, and I walk through health, wealth, and business, trials and opportunities and pain to purpose, then why would I niche down or hide that piece of me? But in the way that I do it with the business model, it focuses across the business model. Like, it is focused in the way that the business model is presented across the blog, the show, social, the courses, etc.
Mm-hmm.
So there is a way to be multi-passionate, and Marie Forleo talks about this. Marie Forleo says, unapologetically, like in her book, Everything is Figure Outable, that she is multi-passionate.
Yeah.
And her book is excellent. If you haven't read that book, it's excellent. And I think what's happening, Audrey, is more and more and more, people have this old conditioning of you do one thing, you do this, you do that. And again, some people do. And there's nothing wrong with that. So I don't want to say like, oh, one is right, one is wrong. No. That's not what I'm saying at all. But some people are born to fully be out, just like a kid. You don't tell a kid niche down.
Right.
1 minute they're playing, 1 minute they're doing this, 1 minute they're doing that. And I think part of why so many people aren't living out their passion and purpose is because the educational system has conditioned to like do only this. And I'm like, oh, when I have kids, when I get married and have kids, oh, no. They will be life schooled and they will have tutors in different areas, but I will be asking them, oh, do you want to study marine life? Oh, do you want to do this? What's on your heart, mind, and soul?
Right. And that's so important, because I hear that all the time. Oh, if you're doing too many things, you're not an expert in any of those things, and nobody's going to take you serious. I hear that all the time. And it's like, man, I'm multi-passionate. I love what I do.
Let me bring this up, because I also had to learn this, and I think this is a very important point. Yes, you can be multi-passionate, but one thing I struggled with, and many people that do, is the focus.
Mm-hmm.
So one of the ways I hold myself accountable is like, okay, community, what am I doing for a community today that's moving the needle forward and it's impacting the bottom line, like being on the show?
Mm-hmm.
What am I doing with creators, and what am I doing with creatives? And then more importantly, what am I automating and what am I delegating so things keep being done and I'm not the roadblock?
Right. Absolutely, because you could definitely be the roadblock on your own success. Absolutely the truth. Oh my God, this is so good. So now, what's your immediate 3-year plan?
What's my immediate what?
3-year plan.
My 3-year plan. Wow. So my 3-year plan includes, from an aspect of personal and business, would be the Creative Center in Atlanta, setting the stage for Creation of Worlds as well. Then obviously for me, growing spiritually, mentally, health-wise, doing other fitness shows. I mentioned the center, being completely debt-free, and giving. Part of the purpose is to give to help in homelessness and cancer, military vets, and battered women, giving over $400,000 by that 3-year mark. Owning a place in Atlanta, a condo in Buckhead, and giving money exponentially to my family, to my parents, because they've given so much. Being married, like my priorities are God first, health, family, then the thing. So obviously I didn't list it like that right now, but just so you know, the priorities there, and it's always written down. Being married, God willing, maybe having my first baby within that time frame. I think that's plenty. And the travel, I would say within the next probably year and a half, I'm probably going to hit over 100 countries.
So Lisa, how has that? I mean, I keep calling you Lisa. You put Lisa in my head and it's stuck. Katrina.
Because I kept saying Lisa.
Yeah. And it's stuck in my head. So Katrina, how was it leaving your family? Like, you've been gone for a minute. So how was that? Like, I'm just gonna leave because I want to go to Africa, right? And the thing that's holding me back from going to Africa, truly holding me back, is leaving my husband and my daughter and my granddaughter and my friends. Because it's like I'm going to go and I'm going to be so far away. I can't just jump on a plane and be there in a couple of hours. That's one of my dreams. How has that been, like, leaving your family and friends?
So it's actually been interesting because, like, my parents used to live in Houston, but they moved to Bulgaria. I'm not married yet, so I don't have, like, hubby yet. He would have been there with me. Like, honestly, that's to be, like, challenge your husband, figure things out step by step, maybe to go together.
Right.
Pay at least for maybe part of the time. And then as one thing I would, suggest or like plant in there. But then beyond that, I feel like honestly, like when we come alone with ourselves and with God and to open ourselves up to all these experiences, it expands so much more and grows you so much more, so that I know that I am a better Katrina. I will be a future better wife, better mom, because all these, like, I'm not at all the same woman like when I left Atlanta 9 months ago. And I think part of that is overcoming those fears or insecurities or doubts, because trust me, like, I had those moments when I knew I was leaving Atlanta. Like, even at the point my passport, like my renewal passport, came 2 days before I was leaving. But I had faith it was coming. But I have, I felt all the things like, oh my God, I'm leaving. Oh my God, this has been my known. Because the known is comfortable. So but I'm telling you, if you left, Audrey, and even if you went for like a week, a month, 3 months, whatever you went, your family would like see you in a different light. You would become a totally different woman. Your podcast would become also totally different, because I would imagine you would be streaming live while you're there.
Yep.
So I would, like, and you would grow more in that week, month, 3 months, 6 months, whatever you would go for a year, than likely you would have grown in the last 5-10 years, depending on how much growth you've had.
Wow.
So, it's been hard in some ways, but also, like, my friends have been so supportive. I've connected with them along the way. I had a friend that already came to Mexico that I got to connect with her and her family when she came. Then I've made new friends along the way, like with the owners, like one of the Airbnb owners, she came and visited me from Tulum to Valladolid. So it creates the space for more things,
Yeah. Wow, that's so cool. And before you go, I want you to talk a little bit about what the center is going to be when you come back to Atlanta.
What the center?
Yes.
I'm so glad you're asking about that. Oh my God. So the center is going to be, my vision is, it is a created center, #created. And the create is all in bright pink. And then the I is in blue, the T is in green. It is at Lenox Mall. So I'm speaking it into existence. I've been looking at things with funding, with grants, with other things, taking action, applications out there. And it's going to be, when you walk in, it's going to be completely white, similar to Apple. And part of my vision is to partner with Nike, Apple, and Disney for several reasons. And it's going to be white. You're going to have like electronic check-in. And then you're going to have smoothie bowl setups where you make smoothie bowls. People assist you like your smoothie bowl to enter as part of the experience. Then there's high and low tables and colorful walls with murals all around, like from our online courses, from our retreats, from different travels. Then there's going to be a soundproof room to create your own videos with different backdrops from all around the world. So your videos don't look like you're just filming them in an office. They look super creative. Then there's going to be workshops on creating a blog, creating a podcast, hands-on, where you're like in the workshop and you're creating it. That's why it's called #created. We're not just talking about theory. I'm going to give you the course. No. You're walking through it just like in our courses. And then like creating the online course, creating the retreats, and it's like a hub. And the fact that the part of the vision is to have it in the mall, because so many people go to the mall.
Yes.
And it's a natural conversion. It's a natural marketing. It's a natural PR. And people love Instagram and walls and pictures. So having the colorful walls and murals adds to the PR, adds to the experience.
I'm down. That's amazing. So what's your next country?
As of this second, I don't 100% know, because I think after here, I may be going to the north of Honduras, but some things came up this morning to where I may go to Nicaragua, I may go to Guatemala, or I may go to Belize, or Costa Rica again. But I do know that after whatever happens in between, I do have a retreat center confirmed with Panama.
Nice.
So that one is confirmed. And then I do have some things in the works with Aruba and Guatemala and Colombia. So
nice.
This year, Central America and South America. Into the beginning of next year is South America. And then depending on things develop, I may be in Africa, Antarctica, or Europe next.
Antarctica?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I won't be long.
Oh yeah.
I'm
about to say so cold. Well, listen. This has been truly. When you get back to the States, you make sure that you connect with me, because I will 100%. I just love what you're doing. When's your birthday?
October 7th.
You're Libra. Really? I would have pegged you for a Pisces.
What did you think I was?
I thought you were a Pisces.
Interesting.
Yeah. I thought you were.
Interesting.
Yeah.
What was it about like my personality or like the things I was sharing that made you think that?
Multi-passionate, multi-daredevil, risk taker. Like the Libra women that I know, they're not like that. Not any of them. And I know like 4. They're not like that. They're not risk takers. They're not daredevils. They don't take risks.
Like, some things with Libra, I'm very like aligned. Like I'm very balanced. I'm very like I love like nice things. I love adventure. I love experiences. But some things I'm totally different. And that's why like I always tell people like look at horoscopes with a grain of salt because we're all much more than like any kind of like for me any kind of box or any kind of like putting in for me is like
that sounds like so Georgette just said maybe your rising is Pisces, so maybe your rising is Pisces because
I used to know what it was, but honestly I forgot.
Yeah,
I know my best match is a Gemini. I know that.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Everything that I've looked at, that's what it always says. Wow. And that's what I received.
Mine is a Cancer. However, my husband is an Aries, with the Cancer moon.
My dad is an Aries.
Yeah, and we click because I have a Cancer moon. I'm a Pisces with a Cancer moon, and he's an Aries with a Cancer moon. Because I was like, why do I get along with him the way I do, knowing he's an Aries? But that's another show. Listen,
another story.
Thank you so much. Please tell people how to reach out to you and follow you as you take this journey around the world. Because I'm gonna follow. I gotta follow you because I just need to know where you're gonna be, what you're doing. I have to follow you because I just find that what you're doing is amazing and how much you've thought outside of the box to get to this point. And I think that the people that's gonna listen, I gotta really pump this show because I want people to understand that they could pretty much do anything. You got to think outside the box. And so for you to even come up with this concept, there is no box. And for you to come up with this concept of, I'm going to find these people who need my help and then they're going to pay me to come there and then I'm going to stay there for months and I'm going to help them. That to me is hands down like the best thing ever. So how can people reach out to you?
So you can find the easiest is probably fitlifecreation.com / fitlifecreation.com has all the things, blog, show, social channels, and then pretty much on all social channels, I'm Katrina Julia or Katrina Julia Fit. Like Instagram is at Katrina Julia Fit.
Well, thank you so much, ma'am. I will be following you to see where you are next. I feel like, what's the little cartoon following, I can't even think
Where
of it.
the World is Carmen Sandiego?
Yes.
That's one of my favorites. I was in middle school.
I will be.
So immediately I could feel it. When you were about to say it, I was like, I think I know what you're thinking of.
Yep. So I will be following you. Thank you again, Katrina. Have a wonderful time in Honduras. And, please stay in contact because when you come back, I really do want to sit down and chat with you and just find out more about Create It. I think that's amazing. And I think it's going to help so many people understand the power of these platforms that we share with them because they are truly powerful.
Thank you so much. And likewise, I'll be sharing the show. I love what you're doing, from Lisa to the councilman that I listened to so many of the things. I saw your recent episode about children being vaccinated, so many. I love that you also cover so many things.
Yeah.
Because, truth be told, we are all woman, man, passionate about so many different things. And I love that you give yourself the freedom and your guests to share on so many different angles. So I'm super grateful, super honored, and likewise would love to have you. I'll send Georgette the information on having you on the show.
Sure, absolutely.
We have several different ways, like created snapshots. We have 3 different feature opportunities. I would love to have you.
I would love to do it. Just send Georgette and let me know what to do, and I'm there. Count me in.
Awesome.
All right. Well, have a great one.
And I'll share it on all the platforms. And I'll definitely tag you on Instagram and everything else.
Okay. Thank you so much. Enjoy yourself.
Thank you. You too, Audrey. Bye.
All right, listen, guys. I'm going to my last song for the day, and I'm going to come back and give you my words of inspiration for the day. So be sure to stay tuned. Look, I hope y'all enjoyed that. I hope y'all enjoyed listening to Katrina share her message. You don't even understand how excited I am. I talk to a lot of amazing people, and I'm always grateful when they come on the show to share the things that they've learned and things that they love. But when I tell y'all right now, I have my flesh is crawling because, and that's in a good way, because I never imagined trying to go to Africa and help somebody, and just say, hey, listen, I can come in and help you. And they say, hey, come on. Now, I've talked about this for years. Years and years and years. My first journey to go to Africa was in 2010. I was headed. I was on my way to get my shots. My mom got breast cancer. I pumped my brakes. I stopped. I can't go. I was going to go in 2012. Going to get my shots. Getting ready to go. My mom gets breast cancer again. I pumped my brakes. I stopped. And at that point, I said, well, maybe it's not time for me to go. Well, I lost my mom in January from COVID. And now I'm wondering to myself, is it my time to go? And I swear, just listen to Katrina talk about the amazing journey that she's on right now. Man, she has books, she has courses, she has everything. She has so much empowerment for you to live outside your box, to live out loud. Like, just live. Life is short. It could be short. Let me say that. Life can be short. When I lost my mom, I didn't realize just how tricky life could be. And we spend so much time living inside these boxes that people have put us into. I'm multi-passionate, and I'm not apologizing for that. I do this show the way I do it. You get music, you get horoscopes, you get news, you get great people, because I'm multi-passionate. I'm going to go to my last song. I'll be back after this song to give you my word of inspiration for the day. I just hope you guys decide, you know what? I want to live outside the box. I want to do something different. So stay tuned. Hold on. I'll be back with your word of inspiration for the day.
Gets me what I want.
Welcome back. So listen, guys, that's all I got for you today. And listen, today is my Friday, because tomorrow's Friday, but today is my Friday. But before I go, I want to give you my word of inspiration for the day. So here goes. Every great dreams begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and change the world. Let me say that one more time. Every great dream begins with a dreamer. Always remember, you have within you the strength, the patience, and the passion to reach for the stars and change the world. Harriet Tubman said that, and she was absolutely right. We all know the story of Harriet Tubman, and if you don't know her story, please go Google it. It's a story of a person who created the Underground Railroad. She led slaves out of slavery to freedom. And we all have that power within us and the passion within us to change the world. We just got to want to do it. We got to just want to make the move. Listen, Katrina told y'all what she's doing. She's changing the world one country at a time. 2 and 3 months at a time. She's making moves. She's doing great things. And that's what you can do too. You got to get outside the box. You got to live out loud. If it's one thing the pandemic has taught me, is that no day is guaranteed to you. And when you spend time wishing and hoping and not taking action, you're wasting time. Hope you enjoyed this show. If you missed any episode of the show, be sure to follow me on Facebook.com at Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow me on Instagram.com at Good Morning Gwinnett. Follow me on the Twitter at Good Morning Gwinnett, GM Gwinnett. If you listen to this show on Apple, Amazon, all Good Morning Gwinnett. If you got Alexa in your house, Alexa, open Good Morning Gwinnett, and Alexa will play the most recent version of Good Morning Gwinnett. Also remember, 4 days a week, I'm streaming live. Instagram, LinkedIn, not Instagram, and not yet. LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook, Roku, and on your podcast platform. Streaming live every day. So if you got a Roku device in your house, be sure to download the Noise Media Network app. You got to download the Noise Media Network app. That way you can see the show live on your TV if you got a Roku box. All right? If you want to support this show, go to goodmorninggwinnett.com to support the show. Share the show with your friends. If you listen to the show on Apple Podcasts, find your favorite 2 episodes, give it 5 stars. If you listen to it on Spotify, show some love, leave a comment. All right? Be sure to stay safe out there, guys. Coronavirus is still out there. We're not going to let it hold us back, but we want to be safe. You want to make sure you protect your family and your friends, because that's all you got at the end of the day. Family and friends. Take care of yourself. I'll be back again Monday at 10 a.m. God willing. Be sure to stay tuned and come on back, get your horoscopes, and kick your day off. Until next time, my good friends, until next time, you make it a great day. Bye, y'all. I'll see you.
You've been listening to Good Morning Gwinnett. Make sure to tune in Monday through Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to find out what's happening around Gwinnett. If you like this episode, subscribe now and share with your friends. To learn more about Noise Media Network, visit noisemedia.us.